you so much. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's that kind of morning, isn't it? For those of you I haven't met, I'm the Reverend Jennifer Brower, and on behalf of my colleagues on the ministry team here at Shelter Rock, the Reverend Dr. Natalie Fenimore and the Reverend Jay Brooks, and today's worship leaders, Janet Bendowitz, our primary worship leader, and those who are assisting her, Suzanne Viverito and Catherine Ripley, it is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you to our service this morning. How good it is to be together with those who are joining us remotely and all those who are here in our great cathedral of the great outdoors, even on this blustery day. It sounds so windy from this microphone, like the earth is rumbling, the skies are rumbling to get our attention. As a quick reminder to those who are here on site, masks must be worn in the building, and we will not be congregating inside, even though the wind may drive us there. Masks are required outdoors when our children and youth are present. We have so many little people who cannot be vaccinated, and so we want to be really careful with them and their health and their families. When we are participating in outdoor events with adults only, masks may be removed if we can give each other a little bit of space. So just take care of yourselves. Let others know what you need and what you're comfortable with, please. Because of the complexity of every single thing these days, let us be mindful and appreciative of the music professionals and members who share with us the gift of live music and song. How good it is to have live music and song again. Let us also show our gratitude to the staff members of Penny Lane and especially our facilities staff here at Shelter Rock. Everyone is working so very hard to make it possible for us to conduct worship together and to be together in congregational life online and in person for those who are comfortable being here. Today is our annual United Nations Sunday, and at this time it is my privilege to invite UUCSR member and lay leader Janet Bendowitz to our pulpit.
Thank you.
It's very live.
I have the great honor of representing UUCSR as an envoy to the UU office at the United Nations. And this service celebrates the 17th sustainable goal of the UN: climate justice, food sustainability. Also in mind that next Sunday is United Nations Sunday, and we also keep in mind our 7th principle. As UUs, we are called to address our relationship with food. Ethical eating, which applies our principles to our food choices, to be mindful of how they affect the miracle of life we share with all beings. What and how we eat calls us to seek compassion, health, and sustainability in the production of the food we raise. As we enter this service, I share with you the words of author and environmentalist John Robbins. We humans are part of the web of life. What we do to the planet, what we do to other species, we end up doing this to ourselves. We kindle the flame of this we try to kindle the flame of this chalice, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism, with hope that our highest aspirations for ourselves will be our aspirations for all people and all species in the web of life, and that we will be committed to the well-being of our planet.
Our congregation's words of affirmation express the intentions of our gathering in religious community. Many here and online know the words by heart. Others do not and are wishing for a printed order of service right now. To keep us all together as one community, we will perform our words of affirmation in call and response form. I will say a line and you will repeat it, please. Love is the doctrine of this congregation.
Love is the doctrine of this congregation.
The quest of truth is its sacrament.
The quest of truth is its sacrament.
And service is its prayer.
And service is its prayer.
To dwell together in peace.
To dwell together in peace.
To seek knowledge and freedom.
To seek knowledge and freedom.
To serve human need.
To serve human need.
This do we affirm and covenant with each other.
This do we affirm and covenant with each other.
Thank you so much. Suzanne?
I share with you an excerpt from the work of Francis Moore Lappé. Food is our most primal need and our common bond to the earth and to each other. It can ground us as we stretch ourselves to draw in all the interlaced threads, so we can weave a whole meaningful picture for ourselves. With food as a starting point, we can choose to meet people and to encounter events so powerful that they can jar us out of our ordinary ways of seeing the world and open us to new, uplifting possibilities.
Whilst thinking about this service with the Reverend Jennifer Brower, we became aware of a wide variety of educational and worship resources offered by the Unitarian Universalist Association on the topics of climate change, food sustainability, and ethical eating. I commend them to you. There will be a link on the UUCSR.org website to these and other resources. One sermon in that material, which was intended for sharing on Sundays such as this, was written by the Reverend Peter Friedrichs of Media, Pennsylvania. And today I share some of his sermon with some adaptation. He asks, "What is my relationship to the creatures on earth and the earth itself? How far does the interdependent web extend?" Well, there is nothing more intimate than eating and transforming what I eat into my body. So I would like to give some thought to the origin of the food that we see as we walk through the aisles of our grocery stores. So I have before me 2 trays of vegetables. This is a tomato. I know it's a fruit, but we normally think of it as a vegetable. And this one comes from Mexico. I have a brilliant eggplant, which has come all the way from Chile, an onion from California, a sweet potato from Louisiana, and a pepper from China. So all told, that particular array of food has traveled about 15,000 miles to be here with us today. Definitely the most far-flung guests at this service. And you can imagine the costs involved in transporting them to be here today. And to your left, my right, I have the same products, but locally sourced, organically and seasonally grown right here on Long Island. Purchasing them, I barely added to my carbon footprint. And by choosing these items, I have reduced the oil consumption needed to bring them to this table. The whole idea behind ethical eating is that we think about the food we put into our mouths, not only their nutritional value, but their true cost of production by the agri-industrial companies. We may actually have increased the average yield per acre of corn from 24 bushels per acre in 1930 to more than 160 bushels per acre today. But to achieve this improvement, we have applied about 1.5 billion pounds of nitrogen to the soil in fertilizers, and about half of this nitrogen is taken up into the atmosphere and falls as acid rain, or it stays up there as greenhouse gases or washes up into our watershed, causing massive algae bloom that chokes aquatic life. As young Greta Thunberg, so wise for her years, and yes, the youth are leading us in this way, has said, if we keep making food the way we do, we will also destroy the habitats of most wild plants and animals and drive countless species into extinction. Humans are part of the web of life. What we do to the planet, what we do to other species, and what we do to other people, we end up doing to ourselves.
As members of the global community, we have a responsibility to be good stewards of the resources that allow all of us, all of the creatures on this planet, to thrive. Today's collection is taken for the Unitarian Universalist Office at the United Nations, once called the UUUNO. It is now the UU@UN, so they've gotten hip too. So you'll commit that to memory. I keep slipping back. I guess I'm a bit of a dinosaur. So it's not the UUUNO anymore, but the UU@UN. The UU@UN has held a prominent place at the UN since 1962, advocating for Unitarian Universalist values on the global stage. As nationalism, climate justice, and racism continue to threaten our world community, having our Unitarian Universalist voice and values represented at the UN is critical. And the UU@UN relies on congregational and individual donations to continue its good work. We ask you to please join us in making a contribution today. You can go to the UU@UN website or text UN Sunday to 51555 to donate, which I have to say, every time I say something like that, it seems so strange, and I think I don't even know how to text in a donation myself, so I hope some of you do, or somebody who's younger than I am here can tell me how to do that. Nathaniel, maybe you could teach me later. We were supposed to have baskets in the rear of our tent sanctuary. I'm not sure that they are there. So if you have cash contributions or checks that you would like to write to this important and worthy cause, Janet and I think, can be trusted to receive those for them, and we will do that for you if you have a check or a donation you'd like to make. Friends, we ask you to please be as generous as you can. Consider the global impact that your support of the UU@UN can have, and we thank you so much for your donation.
While it is true that this congregation is already sensitive to the issues of climate change and food sustainability, from our vegetable garden to our flower meadow and the butterfly garden that embrace the pollinators, we are mindful of how we are stewards to the environment. And many of us are already making donations to support the United Nations initiatives and environmental issues. And there are many ways that we can put our faith into action. And I've been thinking about what else can I do to promote the seventh principle and food sustainability. And I've found support and creativity and fresh ideas in conversations with others in our congregation. So I have a couple of my friends that are willing to join me.
Well, Janet, we may not want to become vegetarians, and I like a good steak as much as the next person, but big time. Have you considered meatless Mondays? I mean, I love my vegetables. Globally, the U.S. consumes the second most meat. Of course, the Australians are ahead of us. Even eliminating meat from your diet 1 day a week can make a difference. According to an agency in Washington, D.C. called Animal Outlook, it's an animal advocacy group. For every person who observes meatless Mondays, Yikes. Their carbon footprint is reduced by 8 pounds a day. That's as much as not driving for 2 days, and it saves 28 land animals and 175 aquatic creatures per year. Food for thought, indeed.
There are those of us who eat to live, and those of us who live to eat, and most of us who fall somewhere in between. If you live to eat, plant-based eating is clean, economical fuel. If you live to eat, curiosity about taste and texture can be a culinary adventure. Plant-based eating is not bland or boring. We, of Caring Chefs of the UUCSR, always offer delicious vegetarian options in our menus. If you are interested in exploring some of the delicious and easy options, please reach out to the Caring Chefs of the Caring Committee, the Caring Chef members, a few of whom are in the congregation today, the blondes up here. Reach out to us to satisfy your curiosity.
So, thanks to my friends and those of you in the congregation who have offered so much food for thought. So, I've been talking this over with my daughter and anybody else who would listen to me, obviously. And she came up with, she's a Unitarian, and she introduced me to the concept of companies that are reducing food waste. And we can do so if we purchase imperfect, the ugly food. There are companies that work directly with farmers to rescue such products that might not otherwise be harvested. And according to those whose job is to measure such things, fully 1/3 of what is grown in the US is never consumed. The vegetable or piece of fruit that's too small, too big, my friend here, that's too ugly, or not it's be tasty anyway, not shiny enough to meet the superficial standards of the traditional grocery store and consumer expectation, is sent to, listen to this, landfill. There are so many facets to the agricultural and food production industry upon which we rely and about which we know so little. Thankfully, with the help of others and through our sharing of information, we are learning more each day. And that learning allows us to make more informed choices. As was aptly captured in the words of Vicki Talbot, who's an ethical eating activist, a member of the Kenosha, Wisconsin UU congregation, we are beginning to recognize that the true cost of food is greater than what we pay at the checkout. For many of us, what we eat and how we eat is a growing part of our spiritual practice, a moral or religious act. If we want to live in right relationship with Earth and all its inhabitants, the grocery store may not be a glorious paradise after all. In keeping with our Unitarian Universalist forebears, we believe that paradise, or perhaps its opposite, are in the here and now and of our making. So, as we bring this time to a close, as we think on how to bring to life our Unitarian Universalist tradition and live in right relationship to Earth and all her creatures, let us carry away with us the words of author Edward Everett Hale, which are included in our hymnal. I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do something that I can do.
We give thanks for the gift of spirit-inspiring and moving music. Thank you, Nathaniel. I don't think any of us really wanted to applaud, but we wanted to say thank you. And we give thanks for the thought-provoking spoken word, helping us put our faith into action. Friends, I invite you now to hurry to your cars and get on your phone so that you can join the online coffee hour. It has been a gift to be together today. Take care.